What's amazing to me is Fernando Mendoza has thrown 8 touchdowns and has thrown 6 incompletions, and I think that's all you need to know right there about how dominant Indiana has been. And it's interesting because when they beat Alabama, it was a slow drip. It was a death by 1,000 cuts. They, we actually stopped them, and I think we got the ball first, and picked up a first down or two, and looked okay, kind of coming out of the gate, and then we punted, and then they get the ball, and we sack Mendoza twice and get the ball back. Okay, then we start playing the field position game. I'm like, all right, we're good, and then they go down and get a field goal, and then we turn the ball over on our own end, and then we fumble the football, and then once you do that, it's over. Once you start giving them the football like that, it's over. But still, even at that, it was only 10-0. But it was death by 1,000 cuts. Oregon was a demolition. I mean, just flat out from the first play of the game, pick six. Now, then Oregon comes back and scores, and then Indiana got the ball, went right back down the field and scored. And I said, ball game. And I knew this game hinged on how Dante Moore would perform. And what I mean by perform, I don't need him to throw for 400 yards. I need him to make the right throws and to protect the football.
He didn't.
And he didn't do any of that. People keep talking about Dante Moore, the number one quarterback. If I'm an NFL GM, not for my organization, I've watched it too many times. I've watched him too many times get in these games and hit the self-destruct button. It just is what it is as far as that's concerned. But as far as the totality of the game, they got out hit, they got out coached, they got out schemed, they got out everything. And it doesn't matter if it's the days when Chip Kelly was there. Was it Mark Helfrich was after Chip Kelly? Now you got Dan Lanning. It's the same thing with Oregon. It's the same thing. Every time they get in these big games like this, they get in the big spot, they get on the national stage. This is what they do. I mean, they play Ohio State for the national championship. Ohio State turns the ball over 4 times, still blows them out. They play Auburn. Auburn had the 12th ranked defense in the conference in the SEC that year, that Cam Newton team. And Oregon, Auburn shut them. Well, Auburn shut their run down so much that Oregon threw like 50 passes in that game. So, I mean, it's just time and time again. They get on this big stage. I mean, when Kalen DeBoer was at Washington, beat them twice in the regular season and in the Pac-12 championship. That was the year that Washington played for the national championship. Then you have this debacle. I mean, it's just one after another after another. Like if you're, and I'm not saying that to insult Oregon or their fans, at what point you got to say, when is going to be our breakthrough moment? Ducks, I can't answer that. Only their team is going to be able to answer that. But the good thing is with the portal open and recruiting, you can figure out what your needs are and reassess things, and you can patch things fairly quickly. But man, I mean, that was an absolute outright demolition. I mean, just from the jump.
Yeah. And just looking at Mendoza's stat line, you want to talk about the like, if you looked up the word efficient in the dictionary, that would have been his stat line. He was 17 of 20, 177 yards, 5 touchdown passes. That's freaking nuts.
177 yards. That's crazy.
That's wild.
And how efficient this guy is. So we got the final set. It'll be next Monday night.
Let me say one thing about Mendoza. You know what's crazy? And just to tell you what a change of scenery can do for a player and some quality coaching is that 2 years ago, last year when Mendoza was at Cal, he orchestrated Florida State's only conference win, their only win against a Division I opponent last year. And he took the Cal Bears into Doak Campbell, and they got beat. And that was Florida State's only win against a Division I opponent. And a year later, he's a Heisman Trophy winner and about to win a Natty. That just goes to show you what sound structure, leadership. I mean, because nobody has spent more in the portal than Florida State the last 2 years, probably. And they probably have the least amount of wins to show for it. And here he goes. He gets the coaching, he gets the structure, he gets the infrastructure, and he gets the supporting cast. And here he is.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
we got our championship game set up for next Monday night, and we'll have a preview show for that.